Hello, good day everyone. Sir Kevin here, and welcome to another course about retail management. That's MM304, and today we'll be discussing about the introduction to distribution. Okay, so our class orientation and how house rules have made mention about the meaning of marketing and its significance. So marketing is all of those process that give satisfaction to the customers. So kasali doon yung retail management. The most essential question in retail management is how can you make your goods available for final consumption? Again, that's the economic question. How can you make your goods available for final consumption? And that is retail management and the distribution management. So today, as part of our class objectives, we need to understand what's retail management, and then uh, what are those types of distribution and retailing, no? So as we will be familiarized with the upcoming lessons, and without much further ado, let's start with our discussion. So our first lesson is about introduction to retailing. Okay, what's about retailing? Retailing encompasses the business activities involved in selling goods and services to customers for their personal, family, and household use. So there are other uses for when you sell products, no? So it might be used for an industrial goods or a material, raw material ng isang company na nagbebenta ng isa pang finished goods, no? Whereas retailing makes the goods available for final consumptions for personal use, for your family use, and for your household use. So it includes every sale to the final consumer. Magkaiba 'yon sa business market. So you are selling now to a consumer market. So dalawa, one is selling to the consumer market, which is hinahati-hati mo yan. So you are retailing, no? Whereas business market is mas nagbebenta ka ng maramihan because that's part of their uh, pwedeng parte yon ng kanilang negosyo. Okay? So, it includes every sale to the final consumer ranging from cars to apparels to meals at a restaurants to movie tickets, and retailing is the largest stage in the distribution process. So, I would like just to run down how the distribution process works. No? Wala yun sa presentation, pero I would like you to think about this. So, from the manufacturer, the economic question is how can you make those products be available for final consumption. So from the manufacturer down to the wholesalers, then down to the retailers, and down to the uh, consumers. Now that's the basic idea of distribution. So there are decentralized type of distribution wherein manufacturers can also sell to the final consumers. Also, wholesalers can sell the products for the consumers. No, but according to this principle, retailing is the last stage and also the largest stage in the distribution process. Of course, you're getting your products be available for final consumption. That's why it's the last stage, no? So, sabi ko nga it's decentralized dati. It involves those channels. So right now, it might be the manufacturer, pwedeng diretso sa consumers because meron ng online market ngayon, the e-commerce sites, Shopee, Lazada, Zalora, and the likes, no? And meron tayong mga online sellers. No, pwedeng dumidiretso to sa mga manufacturers or pwede silang dumidiretso sa mga wholesalers. No, so na-decentralize o na nawawalan ng marketing channel. So binubura niya yung ilang marketing channels. Okay? So kumbaga nag dismemberment siya ng mga channels. So, that's retailing. Okay? So, why we need to study retailing? First is the impact of retailing on the economy. So, how does retailing help in the economy? First thing first, hindi naman po lahat ay kayang bilhin ng maramihan. No? Particularly here in the Philippines, wherein majority of those households, so many of those households are has that limited purchasing power. And as you can see and as you observe with your surroundings, marami tayong mga products na tinitingi-tingi. No, makikita mo yan sa palengke, sa mga tindahan. Pati bawang ay rini-retail, mga sili ay nire-retail. It's because the condition of our economy that is giving birth to retailing. In fact, it's not just giving birth but giving life to retailing dahil uh, tulad nung ng ibang bansa yung mga sitwasyon nila, they don't do sachet, no, tulad nung because of the economy, no. Halimbawa sa America, they don't usually sell shampoos, and they don't usually sell uh, toothpaste in sachet, but in tubes, no, or in what do you call that, in a container, no. So there's a certain effect of the economy in retailing, particularly sa mga household na binibili lang yung current na mga pangangailangan. So that's how it is important. Isa pa, no? Yung pambayad kasi nila ay limited lang din. So that's another consideration, no? So tapos madami pa sila, so hinahati-hati nila. So naalala yung sinasabi ng mga magulang niyo or mga kakilala ninyo that they are trying to do with the sachet dahil mas marami daw laman at mas nakokontrol mo. So that might be true because of the consumer behavior. And then your retail function in distribution wherein yun nga na break into yun nabi-break yung bulk, no? So kung kaysa sa bibili ka ng maramihan, no, na hindi mo naman kaagad kailangan, so it's nahahati-hati, and that's a retail function. Then the relationship among retailers and their suppliers, no? Uh, you get to know, no, how these retailers and these suppliers has that relationship, no, because they feed each other with consumer data, no, especially those retailers, ilan yung nabebenta na ganyan, so uh, ilan yung gagawin ko, so that gives way. Di katulad uh, kung ikaw, no, ay diretso from the manufacturer, so nagkakaroon ng mas marami dapat na pag-aaral, ang kumbaga mas maraming trabaho yung manufacturer and the wholesaler kung walang retailer. So okay, so retailing is the last stage in a channel of distribution. All of the good businesses and people involved in the physical movement and transfer of ownership of goods and services from producers to consumers. So, ganun yung buong distribution process. So, in fact, distribution management is a separate subject, but I would like to highlight this because uh, uh, retail management is part of that distribution management. Okay, so it's the last stage from the top, from the manufacturer to the retailer. So this is the typical distribution channel as I made mention earlier. So you're coming from the manufacturer, then you have your wholesaler, you have your retailer, and your consumer. No, but this is just a typical distribution channel. But meron pa tayong iba't ibang klaseng distribution channel na hindi sumusunod ng ganyang flow. No, so it might be manufacturer can be also the wholesaler, and the wholesaler can also be a retailer, no? Pwedeng dumidiretso na sila. So manufacturer is the one who is making the product. Wholesaler is purchasing bulk of the product. No? Kumbaga, sila distributor. And then we have retailers na bumibili from the wholesalers, no? Binibreak nila yung bulk. No? So marami pa rin binibili nila pero hindi na ganun kadami. No? Then the retailer is breaking those into pieces or into packs, no, for the final consumers. No? So ang pinakauling stage, particularly in the Philippine settings, ay ang mga sari-sari store at saka yung mga groceries. No? So take a look at this. Medyo, sandali, ayusin ko lang yung size dahil pwedeng hindi nyo makita. Okay. Sorry with the problem. Okay. Here it is. So take a look at this. Uh, what's the role of the retailer? It has also the role of sorting and also selling products no na sama-sama. So hindi lang siya in the typical process what I've mentioned earlier na diretso lang. So merong mga merong mga retailers that are getting their supply from different wholesalers and might be coming from different manufacturer. So look at this illustration. So we have different manufacturers from brand A to brand D. So at the right side kung mapapansin niyo, right side po 'yan. No? And then these manufacturers from different brands are distributing or get giving their inventories or their products to the wholesaler. So that's wholesaler A, no? And then that wholesaler A can be a can be a supplier, no? Uh, kumbaga si retailer has different suppliers, so supplier A and supplier B, no? Na pinagsasama-sama niya. So therefore si retailer now is uh, a supplier ng mga consumer ng different brands. So look at that at the left side of the presentation, no? So ganun yung nangyayari sa isang sorting process ng retailing. So just imagine without retailing and those who are distributing this product can affect no yung supply chain dahil baka walang mag-distribute niyan, no? So that might happen, no? So pinagsasama-sama nila yung mga kailangan ng tao. So ganun ka-importante. So we have different types of distribution as I mentioned earlier. Now when we start, uh, we have an exclusive distribution. What's an exclusive distribution? It's a channel relation tend to be the smoothest with exclusive distribution, whereby the supplier make an agreements with one or few retailers that designate the latter as the only ones in specific geographic areas to carry certain brands or product. No? So tulad nito, um, Sony mobile phones are just the company is just the manufacturer of the product. Sony Mobile, no? And then when it distribute here in the Philippines, it is solely the company solely licensed Avid as its exclusive distributor, no? Ang pangalan ng distributor nila is Avid. So sila lang yung may hawak ng distribution dito sa Pilipinas. So smooth yung transaction that I just need to sell Sony here in the Philippines, no? Wala na ibang iisipin because sabi nga it's the smoothest distribution. So whereby the suppliers makes agreement with one, no, or few retailers. Again, it's one or few. So pwedeng limited yung didistribute niya. Okay, that's what we call an exclusive distribution. And then we have an intensive distribution. What's an intensive distribution? Channel relations tend to be most volatile with intensive distribution, whereby suppliers sell through as many retailers possible. So marami ang mga supplier at maraming binibenta ang retailer. This often maximize supplier sales and lets retailers offer many brands and product version. So kung mapapansin niyo, yung unang diagram natin parang exclusive distribution. So similar brand or single product. Si intensive distribution, as many product and as many as brand as you can. So si sari-sari store, mga grocery, mga supermarket are using those intensive distribution. Okay? So we also have what we call selective distribution. A selective distribution is happens when suppliers sell through a moderate number of retailers. This combines aspect of exclusive distribution and intensive distribution. Suppliers have higher sales done in inclusive distribution, and retailers carry some competing brands. No? So, saan nangyari to? Dun sa mga nagre-retail, no, na sama-sama yung produkto pero limited, no? Pwedeng ang ino-offer niya ay mga competing brands, no? Saan nangyari yung selective distribution? Halimbawa, mobile phones. So, mga international brands lang ang binebenta. So, that's a selective distribution. Parang nangyayari yan sa K-Cervico, no? K-Cervico are just selling Japanese motorcycles. No? That is a selective distribution. Hindi siya ganun ka-intensive that all of those products ay intensive. Hindi rin siya katulad ng Rusi motorcycles na nagbebenta lang ng Rusi. That's an exclusive distribution. No? Ganun yung type ng distribution niya. Selective distribution is hindi lang Honda, hindi lang Yamaha, hindi lang Kawasaki, at hindi lang Suzuki, kundi sama-sama yung mga competing brands, no? Kumbaga, meron siyang niche, so meron siyang box, no, na parang scope and limitation ng mga binebenta niya. That's why it's called selective distribution. I hope that you can catch up with the discussion. So, what are the characteristics affecting the retailers? So, the retailer strategy has what we call small average sales, the popularity of the stores, and impulse purchases. Uh, what affects the retailer strategies, the small average sales? No, hindi siya ganun kadami ng benta, no? Except if you have different mobs, no? Kung intensive in distribution, you have mobs, no? And then it depends on the popularity of the store, particularly those who are selling intensive, no? Intensively. Bakit? Pwede naman bumili ka sa iba, no? So, how it is going? Di katulad kapag exclusive distribution ka na, you are carrying the brand. So, let's say, here in the Philippines, merong nagbebenta for Apple iPhones, no? So, alam mong, pupuntahan mo is Apple iPhones lang, no? But in terms of intensive distribution, you get to think about how can you be popular as a store, no? So, marami kasing binebenta. Kumbaga, wala kang identity, no? That might matter. So, are you save more? Are you pure gold? Now, look at these advertisements and different marketing strategies that they employ, no, para maging popular sila, no? Pure gold is doing it well, no? Save more is a discrete type of retailer pero medyo aggressive. Kung medyo napansin niyo na to, by the way, we'll be talking more about that. Tulad ng Robinson Supermarket, they have more strategies na hindi natin napapansin. And then impulse purchases. What affects the retailer is the impulse purchases. Look at this. Madalas bumibili tayo ng produkto na minsan ay biglaan natin kailangan. And if you don't have retailers, you need to go to the plant. You need to go to the distributor, no, before you can purchase the product. Retailing makes the goods available for final consumption. Alam ko napansin niyo na to na minsan napapabili kayo ng produktong hindi niyo naman talaga kailangan o hindi niyo naman talaga gusto. Pero dahil andyan na, dahil kumbaga inalok na lang sa'yo, ay napabili ka. So that affects retailing, no? So that impulse purchases. Halimbawa, yung kaklase mo, ito nangyayari madalas to. Yung kaklase mo, kahit ayaw mo na ng pulburon o ng Graham balls, pag andyan na, no? Tapos inalok sa'yo, minsan nahiya ka. And some other consumer behavioral factors, no? That boost impulse purchases. So that's retailing, no? So how retailing concept is made to a strategy. So because retailing is a customer orientation strategy wherein you get to know about what your customer wants, and it's also a coordinated effort to your suppliers. Of course, alam mo kung kailan ang kailangan na dumating yung mga produkto, so it will help you to do logistics management and inventory management, no? So it's value driven. What else can you offer to the customers? By the way, we'll be discussing that more, no, pagdating ng mga susunod na mga lectures. And you have your certain goals, no? Okay? So, what what is the main agenda, or what are the main goal of retailers, no? What is the gold standard, no, na sinusunod ng mga retailers? There's what we call a TRE. What do you mean by the TRE, or the total retail experience, no? So how important TRE is? TRE includes all elements in retailing, no? That offering that encourage or inhibit customers during their contact with a retailer, no? I know you have observed this, that there are different types of retailer, and mga sari-sari store, meron kayong mga gusto na parang tinatambayan, no? So, yun yung sinasabi nilang total retail experience. Pag una-una, 'di ba, kapag ang tindera hindi masungit, kapag mura yung produkto, kapag may bonus, halimbawa, may extra supot, mga ganon, no? That's part of the uh, total retail experience, no? And also, may parking lot ba kung ito'y supermarket? That's part of the total retail experience. May magga-guide ba sa'yo? No? That's part of the total retail experience. Kapag nagtanong ka ba, nasasagot to ng kagad, no? Sa mga sari-sari store, wala bang tambay o wala bang, 'di ba? Nakikita ko to sa memes sa Facebook, that yung iba ay nahihiyang bumili, lalo na yung mga babae, pag maraming nakatambay na lalaki. So that's a consideration with the total retail experience, no? As you can see, tulad ng Pure Gold, 7-Eleven, Mini Stop, that part of their retail experience is maging available lahat ng naisip mong pwedeng kailanganin ng tao when they're on the go. So, pwede silang magutom. So, nagbebenta na sila ng rice meals ngayon, lately, within this pandemic. No? Mas sumikat nga yung mga ready-to-eat foods. No? Yung mga fried chicken nila, siomai. And then, meron silang mga upuan na kung minsan ay tinatambayan ninyo. That's part of the retail experience. No? It's more than the distribution. By the way, again, we will be discussing more of that. So, many elements such as the number of salespeople, sino ang nag-assist. And then, what are those displays na meron? Of course, factor yung may nakikita yung tao. Kasi meron mga taong nahihiya na bumili kapag magtanong kapag wala yung hindi niya nakikita yung produkto. Alam ko merong makaka-relate diyan. In fact, kahit sa fast food, 'di ba, meron nahiyang mag-order, no? Alam ko nakaka-relate kayo diyan. And then the prices, as I mentioned earlier, the brands carried, what products do they carry? And then inventory on hand, no? Yun nga, kung available ba 'yan, are controllable by the retailers. Others such as adequacy of street parking, no? Merong mga tao na kapag walang parking ay hassle para sa kanila at hindi sila pumupunta, no? In my experience, hindi to sa masyado sa distribution and retailing, but I tend to go to Jollibee Highway, no? Kaysa sa Jollibee Guagua kung ikaw ay nakasasakyan, no? It's because of the adequacy of the parking, no? Kailangan na nakahamba lang yung sakyan mo, inisip mo pa yon. Those are my considerations when I go to places, no? The speed of consumers, internet connection, and are factors of the retail experience. Sa e-commerce naman po yun, no? Shopee and Lazada. No? So, the TRE has that goal to achieve the customer service, or the satisfaction of the customer. Customer service refers to the identifiable but sometimes intangible activities undertaken by a retailer in conjunction with the basic goods and services it sells. It has a strong impact to total retail experience. In fact, kahit saan naman, no? Kumbaga si TRE TRE is the standard ng customer service, no, sa retailing, no? Kumbaga, yun yun. Kasi customer service is a general term, no, kahit saan, no? Okay, so what are those other factors? The store hours is a consideration, no? Your parking lot, friendliness of the store layout, no? Kung napapansin niyo, 7-Eleven always change their layouts depending on how their foot traffic, no, foot traffic sa kanila. Credit acceptance, ito uso na to ngayon, as also the e-money, no, availability of e-money para magbayad. No, personally, I use that kapag pupunta ako ng 7-Eleven stores. I pay through GCash para contactless, no? Hindi na pera yung aabot sa'yo. No? That's part of the customer service or the TRE. And then the salespeople, how do they interact with you? Amenities such as gift wrapping sa SM, ginagawa to. And also, what are the things that you can get from them? The restrooms, no, is also one. No? Meron bang restroom dyan? Lalo na kung restaurant ang pupuntahan mo, natural, pwedeng sumakit yung chan mo. So, consideration mo yung restroom. Diba? So, the politeness of your employees and delivery policies, uh, you should not be surprised with this, that consideration ngayon yung if the uh, retailer or the establishment can deliver, no? Look at this. SM also has that now, Shop SM. So meron silang mga delivery policies na ngayon. So you may purchase with their department store at i-deliver nila 'yan, no? So sumasabay na sila sa mga e-commerce platforms. Time shoppers spend checkout lines, gaano katagal, gaano kadami yung mga checkout lines, 'di ba? Ayoko bumili dito kasi mahaba yung pila, no? So it's also a consideration. And the customer follow-up. So kung napapansin niyo sa Save More, they have that those yellow sash that you may ask to the people that are in duty, no, para ma-assist kayo. No? Again, those are customer service factor. So ano ba yung pinaka endpoint nun? That this retailing management entails relationship management, no, relationship retailing, that best retailers know it is in their interest to engage in relationship retailing, because particularly in intensive distribution, no, kasi mabibili naman nila yung same product sa ibang mga retailers, 'di ba? No, so they need to establish and maintain long-term bonds with customers rather than act as if each sales transaction is completely new encounter, no? So kung napapansin niyo sa mga palengke, vendors tend to tell you, "Ay, suki," kahit hindi naman. They want to establish things because marami ang nagbebenta, no? Marami ang nagre-retail. So there should be relationship retailing, no? Si Pure Gold has that loyalty perks and something. Seymour has that advantage card from SM. The same with the what do you call this? The Robinson Supermarket has that rewards card, no? No, para bumalik sila, no? Hindi pwedeng minsan lang sila bibili, no? Actually, that's the goal of every businesses, that hindi lang sila minsan bibili. That's more effective and cost efficient rather than getting new customers every time, no? So, that's the end of our discussion. I hope that you learned and you have known the basic of the distribution and retailing management. I hope that you enjoyed, and see you on to the next one. God bless.